Hi, I'm Mary with Everything Mary, and I'm so glad you could join me today on Crochet Soiree. Well, if you remember last time, we made these gorgeous little baby products, the baby bib, the headband, and the little burp bib. And I wanted to keep going on with that because I just think, first of all, I love the way the yarn looks with the flannel I was able to find, and it'll just make such a nice baby gift. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how I did this wonderful little receiving blanket using my flannel and a crocheted granny square. And I'm using the exact technique that I used on the bib and the burp pad. So let me tell you how I did it. These are the two squares we're going to concentrate on, this one and this one. This square is really easy. It does take some sewing. You're going to cut your squares 6.5 inches square. Once you have this square cut out 6.5 inches, you're going to sew around it 1/4 inch all the way around, and you're going to leave yourself a small opening in one of the areas so that you can turn your flannel and have a nice piece. Then you're going to do exactly what I showed you on these, on the bib, where you're just going to come in and you're going to make your little loop so that you have something to attach your crochet to. And you just go in with your yarn and make just little small loops. I usually make them about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Any way will work, because what you're going to do is you're going to put your yarn, you're just going to sew your granny squares to it, so it'll work either way. Then what you want to do is you want to make a granny square. Now my granny square is probably the easiest one out there that you can possibly make. There are so many though, and I mean there's books on different types of granny squares, and some really pretty ones, and you can get very, very intricate with them. But I just did a basic granny square. So I took my circle, I chained 5, I made my circle. I did 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and chain 1, so that you have a series of 4. And once you do that, you start with building. The next one is 3 double crochets, 1 chain, and 3 double crochets in that first chain space, and that's what makes your square. And if you're pretty familiar with crocheting, I'm sure you've done some granny squares, so this would be pretty easy. I actually ended up doing 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that seemed to be enough. When I was finished with my granny square, it was just about 1/4 inch all the way around smaller than this square here, and that's so that I could block it. When I block these squares, I do them very easily. I take my ironing board, I lay this on my iron, I pin it on that on the pad of my iron where I want it. I put a little press cloth over it, and I just put my iron on it, and it irons it out just perfect for me. So once I did this, then you have to put your squares together. Rather than doing any crocheting, I just took a big needle and yarn, and I just whipped it around and joined them together. And they joined real nicely, as you can see. And once you get this sewn together, then I came in with my crochet hook now, where I had sewn my little loops just to add on. And I added my crochet. And I did single crochets all the way around here. When I got to the granny square, I still did the same thing, single crochets. But on the granny squares now, you can single crochet in every double crochet, and then 1 single crochet in the center. And I did take a little bit larger crochet hook with this the border rather than the granny square. The reason I did that is because I wanted it to look a little bit more open in the center, but I wanted to keep to my same pattern. So here again, once I did my single crochet all the way around this whole thing, I came back and I did 3 double crochets, but I did 1 double crochet in each single crochet 3 times, and then I did 1 chain, and then I went back and did the same. When you get to the next row, it'll be much easier because then you can just do 3 double crochets in your chain space, exactly what you did in your granny square. And there's so many variations you could do with this. It does, just because I wanted this, my trim, to match the granny square does not mean you have to. You could do anything with these. You can do it where you do 1 double crochet, a chain stitch, double crochet in the next one, and so on and so forth, and then you can do the weaving of the ribbon through like we've done on some other projects. So there's a lot of different things you can do, and you can make this a lot bigger by adding more squares. There's just so much you could do with it, but I really, really like the effect of this little blanket. I think it's really, really cute. And don't forget now, oh, what a great shower gift to be able to give it with your blanket, your little headband, and also your little burp pad. But it just really makes a nice gift, and as a grandmother of 13, I'm always looking for great gifts. So I hope you've enjoyed Crochet Soiree today. I'm just always so happy to be here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.